everyone, it's Tony Tonkin here from the Child Protection Party. One of the issues that has cropped up over the last, I guess ever since we've been doing this work, but certainly more recently, we've been having a conversation around the fact that parents are not able to talk about their circumstances, and we also have been discussing what it is like for parents if they do, like what are the consequences of parents talking about their involvement with the child protection system. And it has become apparent that parents are reluctant to talk about what's been happening for them, how they feel about the child protection system, and in particular, how they feel about having their children removed from them, and what does that mean to them. So what we have experienced is a silencing of parents around this particular issue. Now, we understand how important it is to not disclose the children's names who are in care, and we certainly understand that for many parents, they feel threatened by the department if they talk about their experiences and what has happened to them. Now, I understand what that's like for parents, and I certainly appreciate the perspective that they take in relation to this particular issue. I do believe, though, that it is important to find a way for parents to have a voice. We here at CPP are your conduit, are your voice, and we certainly advocate for parents in particular, as well as children, obviously, but we're here to advocate for parents. We don't hear the voices of children all that often. What saddens me is that when these issues eventually come to the fore, it's either through the media and through some event that's happened where children who are now adults are talking about their experiences while in care, but never had the opportunity to do so while they were in the care of the minister. And we believe that it's important to get these voices heard as often as possible. Now, I also know that it takes a lot of courage to step up and talk about your issues, primarily because of the fear that sits around the punitive behaviour of the child protection system in general, and social workers and psychologists in particular. So we're here to make a stand against all those inequities that sit within the system that prevent you from having a voice. So we're trying to find new ways by which we can give you that voice. And I've made a plea for quite some time now to have you come and talk to us about what's been happening for you, and for us to give you that opportunity to voice your concerns, and particularly what that experience is like to have a child removed from your care, and particularly for that child to be placed in long-term care, and therefore you not being able to parent this child as you would choose to do. So what I'm asking you to do is to find a way to be able to tell your story through us. Now, there are probably many ways that you can do that. We can do it via audio, we can change your voice, we can do it through video and hide your face. And where your children are currently in care, it is probably advisable to do all of those things. But if your children are no longer in care, if there are no longer any current orders on your children, then you can talk to us face to face, do an interview with us, and we can get your story out there through Facebook and through YouTube. We're also looking at producing a documentary based on the experiences of parents and what that is like, what that experience is like if your child has been removed from you. And in order to do that, though, we need to interview you. Again, we can do all the other things, hide the audio, change the audio, and also the visuals of you if you so desire. But I guess our point is that if we are to create any change, it is important for the public, for the general public, to hear what your experiences are. Now, my guess is that the child protection system, or those people that work within it, don't want those stories told. This is not about protecting children. This is about protecting them. This is about people not wanting to be criticised for their behaviour. And at some level, you can't help but think these people know that their behaviour is inappropriate, that there are many cases perhaps where children should never have been removed, that the distortions that they make to justify their decision to remove a child are inappropriate, and that they themselves, over time, damage children and produce poor outcomes for those children. Now, I know of many cases I've worked with over the years where simply the children should never have been removed, or if they were removed, the parents have dealt with the issues and therefore should have their children returned to them. The department seems to believe that once a child is removed, they should stay removed, that returning a child back to a parent is admitting fault, when in actual fact it's about operating in what is in the best interest of the child. So we know all of that. But if we are to change a system that's unfair, that's unjust, that's inequitable, then we need to be able to make decisions about how those stories are to be told. Unless they get told, nothing will change. There's a population out there who are interested in your stories. There are people out there who would be devastated to find out what's happened to you and your children. But they never have that opportunity. It isn't until a child dies or something horrific happens when a child is in care that the media grabs hold of that incident, makes something of it, and people throw their arms up in horror to think that this actually happens. You know, history will not look upon the child protection system as it stands today kindly. It will be harsh about how we've treated children through this particular system. And unless we make changes in it, things will remain the same. We can't have this system continually roll out the disadvantages that it offers to children who are in care. We can't have this system continually berate parents, put them down, or gag them from having the opportunity to talk about their experiences. It isn't a just society when a certain group of people are unable to have a voice. We are the voice. So use us, talk to us, have a conversation with us about the things that are important to you so that we can let others know what is happening for you. We have an opportunity here through the Child Protection Party to make the changes that are required. Unless you help us do that, we won't be successful. If we are successful, we will be able to put a voice to every one of you in Parliament. And that is our goal, that is our aim, and I hope that at the next federal election we will have that opportunity. The media and others will take notice of us once we have a seat in Parliament. So we need your help in order to get there. Now, I don't know what the specific answer is in terms of the gag order that seems to be placed on parents. But I do know that there are ways your stories can be told. You can write your story down and let us know, and we will read it out and put it up on our Facebook page or our YouTube page. You can do the audio, or you can do the video, or you can just have a conversation with us, and then through one of our live feeds, I can talk about your case without mentioning you or the name of your children in particular. So help us to find a way to tell your story, because there are hundreds of thousands of these stories out there that need to be told. We don't want to have to wait until your children leave care and then start to get on with their lives and don't tell their story. Or we have a bank of people who have left care, horrified by what's happened to them while they were in care, may admit that they shouldn't have been with their parents, but do admit that the way they were cared for was inappropriate because of the number of care facilities or foster homes they attended while in care. The system is broken. We all know that it is broken. But getting that message to the public so they understand how broken this system is and how it damages children will never happen if we can't find a way to tell our stories. So even though I understand that you've been gagged from talking about it, you can talk to us. So this brings me to a final issue that I wanted to discuss. Some people, I don't know specifically who they are, but some people believe that somehow we at the Child Protection Party are connected to the Department of Child Protection, whether it be DCP or DOCS or Child Safety or whatever it might be around Australia. They believe that we're connected. We're not. We're as far away from any government department, as you can imagine. And the people that suggest that, I don't know where in the hell that idea comes from, because we're so far removed from any department involvement. Whenever I turn up to a meeting with families, the department or the social workers department react in horror that I should even be there. I am like, I was going to say repellent. It's not quite the word I'm looking for, but I am in some cases their worst nightmare. I don't know why specifically, because it's not that I yell at them or shout at them or put them down, but they don't like having to work with me, because primarily they don't like to be challenged around the way they work, because no one ever does. So for us to make changes, firstly, stop saying, people, that we have something to do with child protection departments, because we just don't. End of story. I find it bizarre that people would even suggest that. I don't know where those ideas would come from, because they certainly don't come from us. So let's dispense with all of that. Let's see the Child Protection Party as your opportunity to make changes in an environment which pushes back against you at every possible moment. We are here to help you to get the voice that you need to have so that your issues are heard. So join us and make a difference. Sit back and criticise us if you want to, if you think that's going to cause any great advantage to you. But also understand that we know and we understand what it is like for you to go through the experience of losing your children. I personally know what that's like, so don't try and tell me that I don't know what that feeling is like. I know it's different for everybody. I get all of that, but I know what it's like. And I know that if you have the courage to tell your story, the more stories that we are able to get out there, the greater the influence we are likely to have on the general public, who will become interested in what's happening to kids in care. At the moment, people generally don't care. They don't. People get on with their lives, they do their own thing until it happens to them. Then they care. But we're talking about the lives of children here, and they matter. They matter greatly. So, if people know what is actually happening for children, then perhaps they may make changes such as supporting the Child Protection Party. We need people to belong to us who aren't necessarily connected with the child protection system too. So we have lots of people that join us who are involved in child protection at some level. We want people also to join us because they believe that producing better outcomes for kids generally, not just within the child protection system, is a worthy goal. And we're the only political party that do just that. So, if I can just finish off by saying, join us, make a difference, contribute to what we're doing, and allow us to be your voice. Thanks everybody for being with me. Take care of yourself. Be safe.